Hi, my name is Felix and I'm the developer of Top Islands 2. Welcome to Devlog number 6. So, last week I announced a new Discord server for the game. We're only a few people over there, so you should definitely join. A lot of the new things I'll be showing off in this devlog are inspired by the suggestions that I got on the Discord server. So, if you have any suggestions for the game, you should consider joining the Discord server. You can, of course, still write your suggestions in the comments below, and please do so. But if you want a more direct conversation with me and the other Top Islanders, the Discord server is the place for you. I also post screenshots of new features as I implement them during the week, and I do a few polls when I'm not sure about how mechanics should work. I also release a new alpha of the game every time I release a new devlog. So if you want to try out the game, that's on Discord server as well. Now, let's get started with the devlog. I'll start out by talking about the things I've perfected or fixed since the last devlog. Then I'll talk about new features after that. So, first off, the crafting book now supports scrolling, allowing for more crafting recipes on each page. This fixes the problem where the shelter recipe was going off page before. The crafting book also now supports multiple ways of crafting the same item. More on that later. When dropping a tool on the ground, it now remembers the HP of the tool when you pick it up again. This was an issue before, since you could drop a nearly broken axe and then pick it up again with full HP. That was very unrealistic. I mean, imagine if you could drop your broken phone and then it would magically be repaired when you picked it up. Tools will now add their HP together as well, meaning that if you pick up 2 axes with 40% HP each, you'll just get 1 axe with 80% HP. Not extremely realistic, but the best solution I could come up with. There was also a similar issue with the HP when placing used tools in a chest. To fix this, you now can't put used tools in a chest. I might make a better fix for this later on, but for now I think that's an okay solution. A lot of you guys on Discord mentioned that the despawning time was too short for items, and you were perhaps a bit frustrated to find out your heated iron had disappeared from your campfire when you went to pick it up. To fix this, the despawn time has been increased by a factor of 5. Now you really have to intentionally ignore your iron for it to despawn, and you shouldn't treat your iron like that. Then 41k told me about an issue with the player collisions with things like campfire, where you would get stuck in a campfire, making it impossible to move without breaking the campfire. I'm happy to announce that this has now been fixed, and player collisions should now work much better overall. That covers all the fixes that I've implemented this week. And now, for the exciting stuff. So, about 2 weeks ago, Spelldeck suggested that I added Binoculars to the game. It was a very interesting idea, but I wasn't sure how it would fit into the game. After thinking about it some more, I decided to add the Binoculars. They work very much in the way Spelldeck suggested, so shout out to him for coming up with the idea. So to craft the binoculars, you'll need 2 hot iron bars and 1 sheet of glass. To use the binoculars, you simply click and hold in the direction you wish to look. If there is an island less than 50 meters away in the direction you looked, plus minus 15 degrees, you'll see an arrow pointing in the direction of the island, as well as the distance to that island. In comparison, the world is 240 by 240 meters. This means that you won't be able to spot an island located in the other end of the world, but also that you'll be able to spot islands in your proximity. There'll probably be an illustration explaining this better right now. A lot of you wanted to be able to melt iron in the furnace. We did a poll on the server, and all of you wanted to be able to melt it on both the campfire and in the furnace. The wish has been granted by God. Me. You can now melt iron in the furnace as well as on the campfire. Heating iron in the furnace is about twice as fast as heating it on the campfire. Overall, things now take longer to heat on the campfire. This applies to fish as well. I'm thinking about implementing something like a cooking station that will allow you to cook food faster. Let me know what you think about that. Next up is the new ice rock. This was inspired by a suggestion from Den41k on Discord as well. The ice rocks make the taiga biome less similar to the other biomes, as they only exist in the taiga biome. Ice rocks work pretty much like normal rocks, except for the fact that they drop 10 pieces of ice instead. Ice can be melted in the purifier and turned into drinking water in that way. It's not really faster than just getting the water from the ocean, but it's an option. More importantly, ice can be used to make the new ice axe. The ice axe, not to be confused with the ice H, is crafted from 1 stick and 2 pieces of ice and has to be crafted on an anvil. The ice axe is the most powerful axe, dealing twice the damage of the iron axe. This means that you can cut a tree down in only 3 cuts. Of course, that comes with a catch. Ice axes have half the durability of the stone axe, since the ice is very fragile. Of course, you can only get the ice axe by going to the taiga biome. I find that the ice axe is a nice addition to the taiga biome. The programming juvenile also suggested on Discord that you should be able to place constructions on bridges. I thought this was a good idea, since it will allow you to expand your island a bit if you start on a tiny island. You still can't place campfires on bridges, for safety reasons of course, meaning that things like purifiers and furnaces can't be placed on bridges either. You also can't place a farming frame on bridges, since bridges aren't made of dirt. This means that you currently can place anvils, chests and shelters on bridges. A short list, I know, but it should get longer as more constructions are implemented later on. Next up is a small change to the farming frames. As suggested by the programming juvenile, you can now see whether or not you have actually planted any seeds in the frame. A small change, but a needed one. This is shown by 3 small dots that you can see here. Last thing in this week's devlog, I know, very sad, is the new sickle. The sickle comes in 2 editions, one made from stone and one made from iron. The sickle is crafted from 1 stick and either 3 stones or 3 bars of hot iron. The sickle is a new tool which is now used when harvesting wheat. This means that you now need a sickle equipped when harvesting wheat from the farming frame. You still need an empty basket in your inventory to be able to harvest. But wait, there's more. The sickle also now allows you to harvest grass. This is a historical moment in the history of Tough Islands. Harvesting grass works just like harvesting wheat, except it's grass, meaning that you'll need an empty basket for the grass as well. So, what about my beautiful grass, you ask? Don't worry, it will grow back in about 100 to 200 seconds. This introduces a new way to make rope. You can now make rope from either 2 baskets of wheat, or you can make it from 5 baskets of grass. I think this will make it a bit easier to get rope, which is needed for a lot of important items like the fishing rod, the chest and so on. The crafting book also shows that you can craft it in 2 different ways as well, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. That's it for this week's devlog. I hope you liked the new features and changes. Let me know what you think in the comments below or on Discord. Don't forget to join the Discord if you want to test the new things yourself. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments below or on Discord as well. I'll make sure to read them and answer them as quickly as possible. Thank you once again for all your support, love and feedback. It makes such a difference while developing the game. Make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed watching, subscribe if you're new here and want to keep up with the development of the game. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.